Do you know this machine has the ability to sew in different directions? You'll find in your stitch menu that you have the S and T menu. We're going to start in the S menu. That's the 4 directional stitching. You will have a total of 17 stitches to pick from. So start by choosing stitch number 1. Your screen is going to change. It will require the S foot. The S foot is a wider foot. We use this for any of the stitches to go side to side or different directions. Those nice large decorative stitches use this foot. And when you put it on, it just really helps make everything stay in the right position. Now, right now, you will notice that the dot is where your needle is, and it's heading to the east. So that means if I start sewing right now, we're going to start sewing to the right. It will keep going to the right until you stop. Down here is your direction changing. So if I touch this one time, you'll notice that now I know I'm stitching in the forward direction. Stitch as far as you need. Touch it again. Now we're sewing west. And now we're sewing north, or back to where we started. So you're asking, well, why would I want to sew in 4 different directions? Now, last time I needed to put a patch on a pair of jeans, I didn't want to have to open up the seam. So all I had to do was slide the accessory box off, slide my jeans onto the free arm, and now I could just stitch all the way around. You also notice that you have decorative stitches. So where we did just the straight stitch all the way around, we could also do decorative stitches. So we have a blanket stitch, for example, and we'll go ahead and stitch. It kind of does a funny little dance because as the blanket stitch goes around, and then when we want it to turn around, now, I'm going to not be as careful here, but you can really get it so you get to the right stitch before you turn it so you don't have any little hiccup at the corner. You'll see what I mean when I show you my fabric here. But this will give you the concept of how to get around the square. So you can see right here, my stitches are all going inward. Now I always challenge my students in class is how do we get this blanket stitch to actually stitch so the stitches point out instead of in. And they always stare at the machine a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see, where am I going to start? I'm going to start here, lower down my foot, and I'm going to start by stitching. I'm going to move the stitch around, and I'm going to stitch now, instead of going around clockwise around my square, I'm going to actually go around counterclockwise. Now, that doesn't look hard, but let me show you the difference. When you get to the corner, you're going to touch the rotation here 3 times. I need to touch it once, twice, 3 times, because the next part I need to actually stitch towards me. So you have complete control, 1, 2, 3, which direction the stitch is going to go at any given time. And it's kind of fun to use these for other uses. You know, sometimes when you have a project that's really big, you do not want to be turning your fabric all the way through your machine. You will definitely want to utilize some of these directional stitches. And then if I want to kind of get back to where I started, because I'm kind of off to the side here. There we go. We'll have something to show you and we can have some fun. So where the first one went inside, by changing the order that I stitched this, now my blanket stitch points to the outside. Check out all these stitches. This one's a gigantic stitch. It's one of the bigger ones. Some of the smaller ones. You'll have to just try these out because they're completely different as you do a combination of 4 different directions. So remember, this is in the S1 menu, the 4-way stitches.